That way, he can finally submit his team information after, we're already halfway through the season. So, I see we got a couple more viewers. Hello. We're coming up with a team name for Saline because he hasn't submitted one. And I don't know what to do. I want it to be stupid. Let's see. I know this is eating into the stream time, and it's not exactly the most entertaining thing in the world, but as we all know, I like to announce the team names. So I don't want to be like, and here we have Saline. Saline, salty. We're gonna make it a salt joke. I got it. His team name is Garglin vs Knackles. Bam. Bam. Gargling these Knackles. Cool. I'm gonna forget that, but it's okay. It's funny. Now, moving on to the actual reason that we're all here. Okay, so first up, we have Alberto and the Brazilian Groviles versus Abyss Array and the Ottawa Escavaliers. And yeah, looking at this match, oh, fucking shit. You can tell it's been a while since I've done the weekly streams, and I change what I do every time. I wanted to look at Terra Captains. Terra Captains. And I'll eventually get these memorized as the day goes on, or as the season goes on, but for a while, I won't. Okay, so, where is... Okay, so we see Terra Sandy Shocks, and he can be Terra Electric, Terra Grass, or Terra Fairy. And we have the Terra Floatzel, which is Water, Grass, and Fairy. Obviously, this is a rain team. I would say a solid 9.6 times out of 10, he's going to go for Terra Water. If he goes for Terra, it's Floatzel, he doesn't need to. Banded Wave Crash in the rain is just disgusting when you have Swift Swim up. I think majority of the time it's gonna be... Oh, hold on. Oh, okay, fuck me. I just wanted to get this stupid thing out of the way, but I forgot you can't. Majority of the time I think it's gonna be the Sandy Shocks that wants to Terra here. And looking at this team, he might want to Terra Grass in the face of Basque Legion. He could be running Terra Blast 2, which would be sick. We can see a Comfey hiding behind Tinkaton's large fuck-off hammer. What's up, Wah? Terra Fairy looks good into things like Darkrai. I feel like the Terra for this isn't really going to benefit him from like an overall standpoint. It's going to be matchup dependent. So like if he's staring down a Basque Legion and doesn't have a switch in, obviously you could go for Terra Grass. Staring down Darkrai doesn't have a switch in, could go for Terra Fairy. It doesn't really care about Terrapagos or Cinderace. Like, it's really good in Cinderace, obviously. It has answers to Comfey with Flash Cannon. It has Flash Cannon, right? I'm 95% positive bro has Flash Cannon. So I think it's going to be more of a defensive Terra in this instance than an offensive one. But we'll see. What's up, Blizz? Looking at Wah's team. Let me find it. Oh, yeah. Blizz, I gave Saline a team name. And it's pretty funny. Where is Wah? Oh, he's on the bottom. I was already there. Okay, so we see Terra Comfey. Last season, Terra Comfey was allowed for, I guess, not the first time. We did unban it in Season 2. Because I wanted to see, because I knew it was a problem in OU, and I wanted to see how it was in draft, and it didn't get drafted in Season 2. It did get drafted last season, finally, and it was a menace, but it wasn't overwhelmingly menacing. We did end up banning Terra Ground on it, simply because of what Terra Ground does for Comfey. So, Wah does not have Terra Comfey, but he does, or I'm sorry, Terra Ground, but he does have Terra Fairy, Terra Fire and Terra Water. Terra Fire is probably the next best thing. It doesn't let you deal with both of your weaknesses in being steel and poison, but it lets you deal with one of them. And given the fact that Comfey has access to psychic type moves, I feel like you really don't need all of the coverage in the world. It does make it a little harder, I guess, because you can't just sit there and spam Terra Blast ground into both of them, but you have options still, so I think it's pretty good here. In this team, though, I would not recommend probably going Terra Water. Or, I'm sorry, Terra Fire. Terra Water probably looks the best here. Amoonguss, yeah, it could be problematic, but Amoonguss doesn't always really hit that hard. It just depends on how you build it. Like, it's a Comfey. You can Calm Mind up, and Amoonguss isn't going to touch you. Terra Water looks good just to wall. Terra Fairy if you want to go for offense. So I think it's going to be either Terra Fairy or Terra Water, and then I think it's really dependent for Alberto's Sandy Shocks, but it's probably going to be Terra Grass if I had to guess. Terra Grass or Terra Fairy. So enough blabbering. Let's get into it. Also, how does everything sound, guys? I know my mic has been kind of quiet lately, and I have some background music, so I hope it's not overwhelmingly quiet on the mic end or overwhelmingly loud on the music end. Do I need to turn the music up, turn the music down? Do I need to eat my mic? What do I need to do? Let me know. Anyway, we're going to get on with the fight. I thought I did that, but I didn't. You see Terrapagos and Sandy Cheeks. Wah does not nickname his Pokemon. What a shame. Volt Switch. Gets a lucky crit on the Starstorm, doing a good chunk of damage. It's such a bulky mon, though. Knock off on Tinka. Oh, sorry, my throat's fucking up. Music is pretty quiet compared to voice, but it's still solid. Let me turn it up just a little bit. Like, obviously, it's not the focal point, but I want it to be noticeable. Is that good? Is that too loud? That's good? Cool. Okay, anyway. Tinkaton versus Amoonguss. Knock off the Rocky Helmet. Does take some chip. Goes for knock again. Goes to sleep. Immediate switch out. Terra Starstorm doing a shit ton of damage. So that's... yeah, did 67%. So, like, he's going to have to really be careful with his pivots now, because this Pelipper obviously is his rain setter. And, well, I guess we'll find out in 3 turns if he's running the rock or not to keep his rain up. But, like, obviously on a rain team, having... I guess really Floatzel is the only one dependent on the rain right now. Obviously Iron Bundle cares about it, but he's either clicking Hydro Pump or like chilling water or something. So I don't know, probably Hydro Pump. Everything else doesn't really care about the rain. Like obviously if Bro's running Thunder on Sandy Shocks, that'll matter, but he might want to be careful with his rain pivot now. Goes for the immediate Terra Water. Takes it 21 recoil, switches out. Resists the Rave Crash. Nice. I think Basket Legion's going to switch here. Yeah. Out comes Terrapagos. Goes to sleep. Unfortunate. It would have been awesome to land that on the Cinderace. What? On the Basket Legion. Ooh, Sucker Punch. Kills it with a crit. Wow. That crit probably mattered, right? Like that. 77. Yeah, you're right. You're right. 23 plus. Yeah. I am not here right now. I feel like shit, so I'm sorry. Close enough, right? Close enough. So down goes Floatzel. That mattered, didn't it? It was a roll to kill already, depending on investment. Got it. Okay, so that crit maybe potentially didn't matter. Like, it kind of did, right? Like, obviously it was a roll to kill, but the crit just said, nope, we're going to. And obviously Floatzel's not tanky, so it did matter since bulk investment. That makes sense. That crit? Yeah, lucky crit there. Okay, so we see rain go away, which means Pelipper is not running the rock. Wait, did Showdown change how they do speed? Oh, that's interesting. That's wild. Okay, nice. Rain's not up, so Basky Legion is kind of slow. Goes for the Volt Switch. Down goes Terapagos. Gotta be real honest with you, Blizz. I don't fucking know how. Can I do that from Streamlabs, or do I have to do it from Twitch? Click on the name. Do I have to do it from Twitch? On Streamlabs? Click on the name and click ban? Nope, it just opened up their Twitch. What the fuck? I clicked on them, but it's not letting me ban them. It's just, it wants to open their Twitch. I don't see it, buddy. Yeah, it just pulls up like their Twitch logo. Maybe dots next to the name. I don't see that either. Let me see if I can do it from Twitch. Hold on. Or maybe I just say fuck it and start buying the AI viewers. Just kidding. I'm not gonna do that. Can I do it from... I can do it from Twitch. Okay. It says block. Close enough, right? Yeah, close enough. Okay, good enough for me. Anyway, back to it. Cinderace versus Breloom. Goes for Pyro Ball. Does kill. Obviously. Bundle comes out. Sucker does... Ooh, fuck yeah. Misses the Hydro Pump. That's so rough. Sucker fails. Goes for it again. The Sucker Punch is doing a lot of damage. Thunder misses. That's so rough for Alberto. Lands that time. Down goes Basky Legion. Out comes Comfey. Sets the rain again. Lives it. Very nice. Doesn't live that, I reckon. Nope. But I think 4 turns of rain should be enough. He doesn't really need it except for Bundle. Obviously, Bundle wants to click Hydro Pump into this Terrafire Comfey. Bringing Terrafire Comfey was interesting. I would love to know the logic behind that, Wah. Were you just kind of like waiting for this particular matchup, or waiting to get rid of the Floatzel? Like, ooh, fuck. Obviously doesn't resist the knock anymore. Dies to Dark Pulse. 2v2. Rain is still up. What can Bundle do? Bundle dies. That's the, yeah, that thing's scarfed to shit. It's got to be scarfed Darkrai. So very nice battle there from Wah. Got rid of the Floatzel early on in the game. The 2 misses from Thunder and Hydro Pump were rough, so I really can't give Wah credit for those. You bit lucky on the crits too, yeah, but that's Pokemon for you. Still won. Oddly enough, your Cinderace is still alive against the Rain team is crazy, considering 4 of the Pokemon on this team just don't like Cinderace, or deal with Cinderace is what I meant to say. That's funny. But yeah, good shit, Wah. Up next, we have TBL versus Salty Sundays. Oh yeah, there we go. See, this is why I came up with the team name. TBL is the Norman Pelipers, even though he doesn't have Pelipper. Get fucked. And then we have Salty Sundays and the Gargle in these Knackles. And let's look at Terra Captains. Oh, God. I'm sorry, guys. I feel like shit. And I know I'm sounding like shit. The enthusiasm is real, huh? So, we see Terra Iron Hands and Terra Sinistra. Terra Iron Hands has Terra Fighting, Terra Flying, and Terra Fairy. Sinistra has Ghost, Steel, and Poison. Into this matchup, this is a brutal Sun team. He didn't bring a Sunsetter this week, though, so maybe he's manually setting it, though it sucks when you see 3 Photosynthesis Mons. And, oh, excuse me, no Sunny Day? Looking at Terra types, obviously, I think Terra Fairy Hands looks really good into this team, with the exception of Slowbro being able to just drop it. Well, it won't drop it. It's still a Hands. He's probably Assault Vest. But the beauty of Galarian Slowbro is you can run it physical or special, and it does pretty good at both, so we'll have to see. But Terra Fairy on the Hands looks really good here. Also, Skarmory is an issue. It depends on the Skarmory set. If he's Body Press set, then it's really not an issue. He's going to want a Terra in front of the Donphan, of course. Terra Flying works for that too. Terra Flying actually looks really good into this team, generally speaking. It makes you neutral to everything except for, obviously, you have super effective damage if you're running Terra Blast into the Slitherwing. But everything else is neutral, and then you have an immunity to the Donphan, which is cool. Sinistra, I don't think Sinistra wants to Terra here. Terra Steel does not look great for it, especially when you have Donphan and Slitherwing and Gouging Fire. I mean, shit, even Walking Awake can learn Flamethrower, right? So Terra Steel doesn't look great, especially when you're already weak to fire. Terra Ghost looks alright here. There's no Ghost resists or immunities, so there's no Ghost immunities is what I wanted to say. So no Ghost immunities, so you could probably just freely Terra there. Free up that fire weakness and the bug weakness from Slitherwing. Keep the immunity to Slitherwing, which is cool. Terra Poison doesn't look great either. Yeah, I don't think Sinistra's the Terra captain this matchup. If it is, it's probably gonna go Terra Ghost. If I had to guess, but I think Terra Fairy Hands looks the best here. And then we'll look at Saline's team. We see Terra Galarian Slowbro with Poison, Water, and Ground, and that's it. He didn't bring his other 2 Terra captains. So for this particular matchup, I think Terra Poison looks good, with the exception of Gliscor. Terra Poison helps deal with Ribombee. It helps deal with Sinistra. You take neutral fighting damage. I mean, you already are. You're already taking 4 times resisted fighting damage from Iron Hands anyway, but you still keep that resistance. Going to Terra Electric against the Hands, probably, or not Terra Electric. What the fuck? Terra Water. Jesus. Terra Water, because of the electric moves, is probably not that great. You also take super effective grass damage from the Sinistra, even though it can already hit you super effective with its ghost type moves. So Matcha Gotcha hitting extra hard is probably not great, but it does let you deal with Chi-Yu and Gliscor a little bit easier. You just really don't have a favorable matchup into Milotic anyway. I guess it really depends on the build. You could Toxic it, but if you have to Toxic it before the Flame Orb goes up, if he is running that. I've seen a lot more competitive sets lately, not really from ODL, but just in general. I think people are liking competitive a lot more, and I think that's a lot to do with Pokemon Champions, because Pokemon Champions doesn't have the Flame Orb or the Toxic Orb, so you can't run the Marvel Scale set. And people are realizing just how cool competitive is on Milotic, because it doesn't really hit that hard to begin with, but like it's so insanely bulky, and if you can get competitive to proc and you can get it to start fucking slamming out damage, being bulky and dealing a shit ton of damage is kind of a menace. I don't really see a way of getting competitive to proc on this team. There's nothing reliable, of course. But it depends on the set. He could be running some dumb shit. We'll see. It's probably marble scale, if I had to guess. So, enough blabbering. Let's get into the match. You see Rabombi lead versus Slowbro. Sets up Sticky Web. Goes for Calm Mind. U-turn out. Into the hands. Eats a Psychic. Oof. Great read there from Saline. I'm assuming that was a read. Activates the weakness policy. Down goes hands. That's a scary Slowbro. Does switch out into the Chi-Yu, obviously. Dark Pulse dealing a shitload of damage. Its speed is lowered. We see boots on Slitherwing. U-turns out. Into the Bro. Bro doesn't really care about speed. Gets that regenerator heals, though. Goes for a Terra Water. Okay, and Ice Beam to kill the Gliscor. Damn, this Slowbro is putting in a lot of work. Dark Pulse bringing Skarmory down to Sash. Donphan out. He is slow, though. I would reckon that's probably Assault Vest Donphan. Nope, it's Life Orb. Oh no, that was Rocky Helmet Chip. Never mind. Oh, it's lefties. Strength Sap. Ooh, goes for Stealth Rock. I like how I was just wrong on every single item. I was like, oh, didn't see boots, so I wonder if it's Assault Vest. And then I saw him take damage from the Rocky Helmet before realizing it was Rocky Helmet and was like, oh, that's Life Orb. And then I realized it wasn't Life Orb, and then immediately we see the lefties recovery. That's funny. Anyway. You know, lefties is interesting into this matchup. Granted, obviously he doesn't know what 6 that table was going to bring, so it's kind of hit or miss, but like, and I'd have to look at TBL's entire roster. But besides Iron Hands and Gliscor, this would be a great investment for Assault Vest, especially being able to counter Chi-Yu. I think Assault Vest would have been worth it to just kind of contradict the Beads of Ruin drop. But we'll see how it pans out with the lefties. Machagacha doesn't do a whole lot. Resists the U-turn. Thanks, cat. She made my chair squeak because her fat ass hopped off it. Machagacha goes and kills the Slowbro, bringing Sinistcha back up to full health. Milotic doesn't not tank that. Lands the Lucky Hypnosis. Okay, cat. My cat's trying to lay on my shit. And it's funny because table is not running optimal Chi-Yu here, because you can tell because the Chi-Yu is shiny, and I don't remember off the top of my head what makes shiny Chi-Yu non-optimal. I think it has a lot to do with its innate IVs, and you can't change the IVs on Showdown because it has to abide by legality. So I think that's funny. Dark Pulse. Holy shit. It does wake up. Goes for Earthquake. Down goes Chi-Yu. Gouging Fire at 13. Rabombi taking some damage from those Stealth Rocks. Moonblast. Ooh. Moonblast KOs the Donphan. First impression, it does resist and live. Moonblast kills. Does Rabombi deal with... Yeah. Rabombi has now gotten 3 kills. It's about to pick up another one. So, Rabombi is a problem. We just saw it take 4 bodies. This little bug just defeated Gouging Fire. Excuse me. Walking Wake, Slitherwing, and Donphan. This little bug just said, nah, I'm not here to dick around. But, I mean, it has a crazy high special attack stat, and Moonblast is obviously just disgustingly good. So, hell yeah. Good shit from table. Yeah, Rabombi sweep was not something I ever thought I would witness, but sticky webs are problematic, and unfortunately, bro just really didn't have a good spot to get Rapid Spin off. I don't think he really... Not with Sinister still on the board, I guess. After it Terra'd, he could have, but we didn't see it again until he switched it in on the Rabombi, and then it obviously died. I think Assault Vest would have been really good there for that specific reason, but it's obviously one of those things that you can't really bank on, and you have to kind of see how it plays out when it plays out. But yeah, good shit there from Table. Up next, we have SnB and the... Did he change his team name this? I think he changed his team name this season. Maybe not. The SnB and the Central City Charizards versus Boasy and the... What is it? The Chester Clampearls again, probably. If I could learn how to navigate the sheet. Yeah, Chester Clampearls. Oh, that's nice. They're right next to each other on the team sheets page. Terras from SnB. We have not that, and not that. Bro didn't bring any of his Terra captains this week because he has Darkspun, Jolteon, and Superior, and none of those came. So no Terras here from SnB. Boasy brought his Terra Dugtrio and Avalugg. Oh, he brought all three of his. That's funny. He's picking up the slack for SnB. He brought all three of his Terra captains where SnB brought none. So, Terra on Dugtrio is ground, water, and rock. Into this matchup, ground looks good to deal with Incineroar and Slowking. Obviously, he's not going to ever be slower than Dugtrio. If he could catch Dugtrio on a roost, that would be cool too, but I don't think that's going to happen. Terra Grass looks not the most favorable. It doesn't look bad either. Like, it's pretty neutral. I mean, you are going to take a shit ton of damage. Well, no, actually, now that I think about it, and I realize I'm an idiot. Brave Bird from Corviknight's not great. U-Turn from Hoopa is not great, and that is Hoopa Unbound. And then... obviously, Incineroar. Okay, yeah, so Terra Grass, not great, not great. It does deal with Quagsire, though, so that's cool, I guess. Terra Rock doesn't look great either. I mean, Drain Punch from Hoopa. Quagsire can... and then Corviknight. Yeah, I don't think Dugtrio really wants to Terra in this matchup. Most of its Terra matchups are rather unfavorable. I think ground would probably be the best just for offensive stab. But it's not great having to do that. Masquerain is running Flying, Water, and Grass. Again, I don't think Grass is very good here. Terra Flying looks okay. It doesn't really do much for the team, except give it, extra stab, I guess. Excuse me. Sorry. I keep coughing because I feel like shit. And I keep yawning because I slept like shit, so I apologize. Terra Water looks pretty good into this team. Obviously, if you have Clodsire on... I'm pretty sure it has water. Not Clodsire, Quagsire. With Water Absorb, it's not great. But dealing neutral damage into everything is kind of cool, especially when you're... Yeah, I had to remind myself if Masquerain got Tinted Lens, but it does not. So, Terra Water is probably the best here to try and just, hit everything that you can as neutral as you can, especially if you go for a Quiver Dance set. Just sit there, Quiver Dance up, and then hit everything except for Quagsire if it's Water Absorb. Just hit everything pretty decently, pretty neutrally is pretty nice. Obviously, it's super effective against Incineroar, but damn it, cat. She keeps rubbing on my fingers as I'm moving the mouse, and she just made me right-click on something, and it didn't matter, but like, bro, you gotta calm down. Get the fuck out of here. Go away. Just kidding, don't go away. You stay. But you could get away from my mouse. That would be cool. You can come lay on my lap or something. Oh, she's laying on my lap. Sick. That worked. Nope, she gave up. Just kidding. Cat. Sorry, we're having technical difficulties. Gato is being Gato. Anyway, let's carry on. Oh, we didn't talk about Terra Avalugg. Terra Avalugg, ice fighting and steel. Steel looks okay here. Obviously helps you deal with this bitch, this Screamtail. You're still taking super effective damage from Incineroar. Terra fighting would be cool for Incineroar, or neutral damage into Corviknight, because you really kind of need that. But you don't really deal with Screamtail, Hoopa, or Slowking if you go Terra fighting. So, I don't know. I think Terra Water Masquerain is the moves, and obviously Dallas can't Terra, so let's get into it. Quagsire lead versus Lando lead. Lando goes for the U-turn. Goes for Stealth Rocks, very nice. Lands the Toxic. Rapid spin away them rocks. Goes for Iron Defense. Earthquake does a pitiful amount of damage. I think Quagsire wins this 1v1. Avalugg, I'm pretty sure Avalugg has Recover too, but being Toxic really doesn't help. Good switch in there on the ground immunity. Back out to Avalugg, who eats another Toxic, so good shit there from Boasy. Yep, so Avalugg does have Recover. We see it take its Toxic chip. Back out to Lando. I assume... Oh, goes for Future Sight on the read. Nice. Not having a Dark type for Boasy is kind of huge, so something is eating that focus... Or, I'm sorry, that Future Sight. Traces Pressure, which is really cool. Ooh, good switch there from SnB. Porygon eats the Future Sight attack. Doesn't take a whole lot of damage from it. Again, the rocks are gone. Dugtrio comes out. So, Sandvale is banned, right? Sandforce is not banned, but he's not on a sand team. Unless Lando is running fucking Sandstorm. Jesus Christ. I'm not with it today, guys. I am sorry. But so I'm led to assume that that's Arena Trap, which is why he brought it in against the Slowking, to be able to just kind of drop it. But we see Slowking dip, and he switched out. So I'm led to believe that that is a Shed-Tail? Is it Shed-Tail? Not Shed-Tail, that's the move. Shellbell? Is it Shellbell? There's an item that lets you leave no matter what. And I think that's the item that Slowbro is running, or Slowking is running. Why can't I think of it? Is it it's not Shed-Tail. It's Shellbell. No, because the Shellbell is the one that heals you. What fucking... Whatever. There's an item that lets you switch out. Oh god, what did I just do? I moved the mouse too aggressively. Oh no. Oops. Having technical difficulties. I moved my mouse around and the left clicker just fucking clicked on my keyboard, and it drug that with it because I was aggressively... Anyway, that's not why we're here. So yeah, goes for the Earthquake. It misses on the Corviknight switch. Oh, hold on. Oh, I did know what the item was. Wow, what am I retarded? See, wow, I'm glad I forgot. It's been 2 weeks. I forgot what happened. Brave Bird crits on the Lando. Takes a Future Sight attack. Down goes Lando. That crit was huge. And now, bro doesn't really have an answer to Slowking if he can... Yeah, he's just going to switch out into the Corv. Yeah. Oh, Foul Play. Okay. Rocky Helmet Corviknight. Very nice. I love Rocky Helmet. Future Sight doing a lot of damage into Avalugg. Brave Bird to not pick up the kill, but clench it with... Oh, just kidding. He goes for Recover. U-turns out. I assume we're going to see another recover from Avalugg. Yes, we do. Switches out to Porygon. Flamethrower not doing a lot. Double recovery. Shadow Ball super effective. Lands the special defense drop. Very nice. Goes for Chilling Reception into Quagsire. Do we see a Toxic here? No, we see an Earthquake. Woo! Damn. So this... I'm loving how this is working out for SnB here, where he's getting a lot of critical damage on something, and then Future Sight is finishing it off. That's awesome. That's awesome. Working out really well. Future Sight, especially when he doesn't have a Dark type, right? Oh, we see the Quiver Dance. We see a Toxic, so that stops setup sweeping. We do see Terra Water. Hydro Pump. No. I would assume it's Unaware then, obviously, because it doesn't have Water Absorb. Why would it be running Damp? The Unaware, which means that Hydro Pump still did a shit ton of damage into that Quagsire, even though it has Unaware. Air Slash for the kill. Doesn't want to bank on the Hydro Pump miss. Do we see another Hydro Pump hit? We do. Down goes Incineroar. Taking a shit ton of damage from Toxic, though. Hydro Pump again. Brings it down to 52. Chili's out. He's going to heal up. Screamtail. Ooh. Does he get one last kill? No, he goes for Protect. Guaranteeing this differential save there. Swords dances in front of the Screamtail. Goes for Psychic. It dies. Probably predicted a switch there, because he probably would have wanted to go for like, oh, I'll just Swords Dance up on the switch because bro doesn't want to eat a Dire Claw. Would be my guess. Gets a para on Porygon. Wishes up in front of the Shadow Ball. Doesn't deal a whole lot of damage. Brings in Slowking, who healed up from Regenerator and is now going to get extra healed from that. Especially after the Shadow Ball take. That's cool. Hoping for these special defense drops, I would assume. Doesn't really have a whole lot of options to click besides Shadow Ball. Yeah, Hoopa. Hyperspace Fury does not kill, does a lot of damage. Does get hard parried and eats a Future Sight. That much low defense in front of an Avalugg could be scary. Do we see a switch? We do see a switch. Boasy is already contemplating forfeiting. Poor guy. Not allowed though. No forfeits in ODL. Flamethrower does a good chunk of damage. Traces the Regenerator a little bit too late for that. I don't think it would matter anyway. I don't think Regenerator works, because as soon as you switch out, you go back. Eats the Future Sight, and Hoopa kills with Hyperspace. Good battle there from SnB. Landing that Toxic on the Masquerain was really huge. It stopped the setup sweep. We saw it just nuked Quagsire and Incineroar. Sorry guys, I don't feel good. And I'm going to keep saying that. We saw it nuke the Incineroar, but it didn't really... Like, it didn't not nuke the Quagsire. Obviously, Quagsire was unaware, but we still saw Hydro Pump do a metric shit ton of damage into it. But, yeah, good shit there from SnB. Up next, we have P4. He changed his team name this season. He's no longer the Milan Jump Fluffs. He is... His logo is really funny, too. He's not just Fluffs. I don't know what that means, but it's... Whatever. His logo is really funny. I can show that off really quick. Oh, no. I need to go all the way over. I don't know if you guys can see this with how I have the things, the sheets set up. Oh, you can't, of course. Never mind. So that was a waste of my time. His logo is funny. Just trust me on that one. It's a jump fluff. It's just shiny jump fluff with a knife. It's kind of fun. Anyway, and then we have Tim, whose logo is also really funny. I'm not even going to worry about showcasing it this time. He is the three little ponies. And the ponies in this instance are his mascot Choodle, which he did not bring Choodle, obviously. The Keldeo and the Thunderous. Those are his. That is Thunderous, right? Yeah, Jesus. Those are his mascots. Those are his three little ponies. Even though realistically Keldeo is the only actual pony there, but it's funny, so we'll give him that. Anyway, Terra types. For P4, we do not see that one. We do see Terra Colossal, and that is it. Terra Colossal is running Rock, Grass, and Poison into this team. Rock, Grass, and Poison. Rock doesn't look great when there's a Keldeo and a Vaporeon, and a Masquerada, and a Weezing, and a Goodra. So Terra Rock's probably not the ideal one there. Terra Grass looks alright here. It helps you deal with Keldeo and Vaporeon, which could be kind of huge. Did I? Yeah, okay, sorry. I lost my train of thought there. Terra Grass dealing with Vaporeon and Keldeo. You do take still a good chunk of damage, though, from the Weezing if he has a poison move, and the Thundy if he's running a flying move. It doesn't really help against Goodra. I mean, I guess it can. Does Grass resist Steel? It's the other way around for sure. But I don't think Grass resists Steel. I think, yeah, obviously Steel resists Grass. And then we have Terra Ghost. Yeah, Terra Ghost. Terra Ghost looks alright here. I mean, Bro doesn't have a Ghost immunity. Meowscarada could be problematic. I don't know if Colossal wants to Terra in this matchup. And if he does, it's going to be a one-off, like, oh shit, I'm in front of Vaporeon. Oh shit, I'm in front of Keldeo. Then I'll Terra to try to live a hit. He could be running Terra Blast. So, I don't know. I think out of all of his Terra options, Ghost is the most neutral, except for dealing with Meowscarada, which you already check Meowscarada in a roundabout way anyway. So, but you don't really want to be weak to it. But I think it's either Grass or Ghost. He's definitely not doing Rock. Rock does not look great in this matchup. Or if he has Terra Rock, then hopefully he just doesn't Terra. I mean, it wouldn't really benefit him at all. And then we have Tim's Terra. He has Terra Captain Thundy T, which is Terra Electric, Terra Water, and Terra Fairy. Now, I gotta say, Terra Electric is interesting. Pretty sure Bro has Volt Absorb. Yeah, so, like, I don't know why you wouldn't go Terra Fire, or what? Terra Flying out of the two options. Now, you can keep your ground immunity, and you still have half of an immunity. You are immune to Electric, so you still keep your double immunities. Terra Electric's interesting. Obviously, it's better for offensive purposes, but I still think with a mon like Thundy, you don't really care about you're a Thunderous. You're gonna hit like a fucking train anyway. So I think Terra Flying would have been a better option, but it's not me, it's Tim, so we'll see what he does with this. In this particular matchup, I think Terra Electric doesn't look bad. Lets you deal with Torn, lets you deal with this. That's Urshifu Rapid Strike? I want to say he has Rapid. It's probably... I think actually it might just be... It is Single Strike, okay. So another bonus points for Terra. Flying would have been that, but he still obviously has flying moves, just nothing too reliant without rain. He could set rain with this team, though. This could be a pseudo-rain team. He just has to manually set it. Terra Fairy looks... Oh, wait, did I skip Terra Water? I did skip Terra Water. Terra Water looks good into Clodsire, who could also be running Water Absorb. Looks good into Colossal. Terra Water's not bad. It's a good defensive one as well, so I think Terra Water could be an option. Terra Fairy is also more of a defensive, especially into this team. But he does have a Goldango So I don't know if he wants to Terra... Actually, no. Terra Fairy doesn't look great here. What with Goldango and Clodsire? I don't think that's great, but it does deal with Urshifu and... I mean, it doesn't need a Terra Fairy to deal with Urshifu and Hammerot, so I don't think Terra Fairy is the... I think, honestly, if I were him, I would probably do Terra Water this set. So, let's see. Immediately switches to Colossal, Protein Bug on the U-turn. Gets Flame Bodied. That's so rough. Switches to Clodsire on the Thunder. He goes for Terra Water. Nasty plot. Psychic does a fuck ton of damage. Weezing just eats that close combat. Oof. Nice switch on the Strange team there. Turn on the Vaporeon. Samurott comes out. Alluring Voice dealing a lot of damage to the Samurott. Goes for Protect on Flip Turn. Gets up some more heals. Goes for that Flip Turn again. Water Absorb. Very nice. Alluring Voice takes the KO there. Gets a... Oh, obviously he gets a crit. It's Wicked Blow. Alluring Voice does not kill, but it picks up a shit ton of damage. Switches out to Goldango. Switches into Weezing. Not a great spot for the Weezing to come in. Immediately goes back out to Goodra, who's going to tank that Make It Rain. Ooh, Keldeo does not like that matchup. Yeah, back out to Goodra. Eats a Bleak Wind. Minimal, pitiful damage. Knockoff getting rid of Assault Vest. So that makes more sense. Ice Beam dealing a lot of damage. I mean, not a lot, but like, it's a Goodra. Hammer Arm. Hammer Arm is interesting. Hammer Arm is very interesting. Body Press does not kill. He does go for the Terra Ghost. And Terra Ghost deck is actually really good in this position. Oops, I hit previous turn. Terra Ghost is really good in this position because Meowscarada is effectively already neutered. It's been burned, so it's obviously like it's colossal. It's still a Meowscarada, but like I don't think Knockoff does anywhere near enough damage, and you can just revenge kill it. Keldeo goes for Calm Mind. That's not great. Goes for Rest. Okay, what is Keldeo gonna do here? Goes for Sub. Colossal is still asleep. Body Press doesn't do a lot. Hydro Steam, or Hydro Pump, I'm sorry, does get the KO. Vacuum Wave to pick up another KO. Does Keldeo clean it from here, or does he switch? Ooh, no, oh! Ooh! Nah, Vacuum Wave doesn't pick up the KO there, obviously. Does die to Bleak Wind. Was probably banking on just getting in a good chunk of chip, and then hopefully missing, or evading a Bleak Wind. That is not how that worked out. Meow doesn't kill Goldango. Goldango recovers. Nice. Yeah, at this point, he just has to spam Shadow Ball. Oh, does have Fire Blast, which, you're welcome, Tim. That was some tech I helped Tim with. Not really tech, but he was so paranoid about killing Goldango. And Goodra is the best wall, so I was like, just run Fire Blast and call it a day. P4 out here, recover stalling. Thunderbolt does a lot of damage. Shadow Ball does a decent chunk, but Thundy's going to get the kill there. Stay alive for the Lando matchup. Does he switch out? No! He stays in and dies. Probably to get a fresh switch. What is Meow going to do? Triple Axle? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Very nice. Burnt Meowscarada getting the final KO of the game to give the match to Tim. So very well done. Tim, I know how scared you were into this matchup because P4's team has a Goldango. P4's team is pretty solid. I mean, it's the Mons that he has on his team aren't like the greatest things of all time, but he does have a good chunk of synergy. He does have some threats and things and tech that he can do to be threatening. So very well done there from from Tim to overcome the odds that he thought were not in his favor. Chuckles is new, so I don't even have a semblance of idea what his team name would be. What is his team name? Oh, right. He's the Geonosis Giraffarigs. Nice little Star Wars reference there. Hell yeah. We see Terra Captain Rillaboom with Terra Grass, obviously, Terra Water, and Terra Ground. I think Terra Ground looks solid here. Obviously, it doesn't deal with Zapdos, and then you become weak to Urshifu, but Terra Ground looks really good for neutral damage into... I guess for neutral damage into Garchomp, you'd still be hitting Grassy Glide or Wood Hammer anyway. But having a way to answer Skeledirge and King Gambit and neutral into Scizor, that's pretty nice. I really like Terra Ground here. Terra Grass doesn't look great unless you're just trying to fire off. Nah, Terra Grass doesn't look great at all because Scizor checks it, Skeledirge, Zapdos. So Terra Grass isn't the greatest in the world. Terra Water, for the same reasons as Terra Ground, Terra Water looks good too. Neutral damage, again, you wouldn't want to click it into Garchomp. You just go for Stab Grassy Glide, I think. But it's good for Skeledirge. Yeah, I think Terra Ground is the play here. I really think Terra Ground is the play here. We don't see his other Terra Captain, do we? I lost myself on the sheet. Where the hell am I? I was just looking at his Terra types, bro. There it is. Oh yeah, okay. And Terra Low Kicks. Bug, Dark, and Fighting. Okay, what the fuck is this? I know it's a Pokemon playlist, but I do not vibe with whatever this is. Some Kalos music? Let's go. Okay. Terra Low Kicks, I'm sorry. Terra Bug, Dark, and Fighting. Interesting Terra types. None of those are defensive. none of them. So I'm really curious to see how these pan out. Those are all offensive Terra types. Like, they don't help with your weaknesses at all. Like, obviously, Terra Bug is weak to flying. Terra Fighting is weak to flying. Terra Dark is weak to fairy. Terra Fighting is weak to fairy. Like, but yeah, good offensive Terra types, which realistically is probably the way you want to do it anyway. It is a low kicks. You're not meant to sit there and just survive. You know what I mean? Like, you deal damage, and then you call it a day, right? Terra Bug doesn't look great here. Terra Dark looks good into Skeledirge. Terra Fighting looks good into neutral damage into Scizor. Good into Gambit. I don't know if you want to Terra the low kicks this game. Like, obviously, you could just do Terra Dark knockoffs just for a shit ton of damage. I think that would be a really good way to go about it. But I think... yeah, you could do that. I think Terra Dark would probably be the play here. Or Terra Fighting if you really need a way to deal with the Gambit. But, like, pretty sure low kicks already has low kick. So, like, I don't think you need a Terra for that. I really don't. But I think Terra on the Rillaboom, Terra Ground on the Rillaboom is going to be the play, so we'll see. And then looking at Wolfie's team, he is Leftover Onions. If you guys could see his logo, it's also kind of funny. It's Rayquaza holding up a chair over his head like a WWE chair slam shit. I don't know what they call that. I don't watch WWE, but it's funny. The Leftover Onions Terra Captains is Skeledirge, and we don't see the other one. So, Terra Skeledirge has Ghost, obviously, Water, and Fairy. Really good defensive Terra types for Skeledirge. It doesn't really want to offensively Terra. Its natural bulk and its ability to sustain itself with Slack Off and just incrementally increase its damage through Torch Song. I think defensive Terras are the way to go, so good on Wolfie for that. Keeping Terra Ghost is awesome. That way you can keep your immunity. But I think... Terra Fairy looks okay, especially when you're facing off against a Dragapult. Terra Blast could be huge. defensively and offensively, Terra Fairy is good for the Dragapult matchup. Same with Cobalion. What is Cobalion's typing? Am I retarded? Steel fighting? Nah, you actually don't care about that one. I'm sorry. I don't know why I was thinking of Iron Crown, but at that point, you still don't care. Ignore me. Terra Fairy looks good. I guess, yeah, no, Terra Fairy doesn't look good in Cobalion, but I don't think Cobalion wants to stay in front of a Skeledirge, because that thing is bulky. It's probably going to live in Iron Head, and then fire off a Torch Song and just slap you in the face. Terra Water and Terra Fairy look good into Lando. Terra Water does not look good into Rillaboom, so probably Terra Fairy in that instance. You don't really care about your Terra type for Lokix. That's a lie. He has knockoff. Yes, you do. You probably want to go Terra Fairy for that to resist. Am I tripping? Is that right? Yeah, Terra Fairy resists Bug, so and Dark. So I think that's a good option there to want to Terra into the Lokix. And then obviously Tentacruel doesn't really dish out a lot of damage, but you do want to do a defensive Terra against it because you are a fire type. So I think Terra Fairy looks really solid here from Wolfie. Terra Fairy on Skeledirge is just a nuisance anyway, but I think Terra Fairy is the play. So let's see how this goes. You see a Lando lead. U-turns on the Zapdos. Does get the fucking... Oh, that's so rough. Love the Star Wars names from Chuckles. Hell yeah. Ooh! Was that a read? That had to have been a read. God damn. Wild. Good play there from Chuckles. Scizor is down. Out comes the bear. Ooh, good read there from Wolf. Well, I guess that's not a read. He had a Lando out. Bad switch from Chuckles is what that was. I would assume that's banded because he just kept clicking Ice Spinner and then immediately switched out. No, I don't think that's banded. Hurricane, ooh, does a lot of damage. Oh, the Hydro Pump miss. Damn. Not that it's going to do a lot to Zapdos anyway. Para-Confusion, rough spot. And he lands it, but doesn't land it because it misses. Another Hurricane. Does he stay in? He does land the Hydro Pump. Does actually a good chunk of damage into the Zapdos. Does go for Roost. Unfortunate. Gets paralyzed. Has hit every single Hurricane. Punches himself in the face. Just straight up sacrifices the whatchamacallit there. Goes for Thunder Wave, even though he gets sub. Very nice. Goes for Shadow Ball. Doesn't land the special defense drop. Hurricane gets rid of sub. Dies to Shadow Ball. Yes. Down goes Zapdos. Not a good spot for the... Ooh, goes for the raw sub. Probably predicted a Swords Dance there on the switch. Immediately goes for Kowtow, though. Switches out. Stealth Rock, okay. Volt Switch, nice. Yeah, get out of dodge. You don't want to be there. Torch Song kills it. Does get a buff. Oh, no. Goes Terra Dark. Into the Terra Fairy. Knockoff still dealing a shitload of damage. We see a Torch Song there. Does not kill. U-turn also does not kill. Ooh, goes for the Slack Off. Very nice. Shadow Ball. Drops the special defense. Torch Song picks up the KO there. That's a fat Skeledirge there. It's pretty low in the health department. Sucker Punch or Knockoff, yeah. Yeah, go for Knock just in case. That's fair. Seagrashy Surge. Scale Shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's got to be loaded dice. In a really good position here, this Garchomp is. Stomping Tantrum does a good chunk of damage. His defense is lowered. Goes for Iron Defense. Does Cobalion have what it takes? Stomping Tantrum, it lives. Body Press. Picks up the KO. Rough Skin. No Rocky Helmet. Oh, right. It's probably loaded dice. Yeah. Surging Strikes does kill here. And it's low kicks versus the world. Very, very small low kicks. Nope. Doesn't have it in him. Urshifu picks up the W there. Good fight, gentlemen. Nothing too crazy, nothing too whatever, but just all around good fight. Lots of back and forth, so very good. Being able to stop the Skeledirge setup, being able to stop the Cobalion setup, just nice. Worked out. And obviously the crits from this piece of shit. Crits mattered, because Urshifu always crits, that son of a bitch. Broken ass Pokemon. Yeah, good fight. Okay. Wow, I'm retarded today. Another great logo that you guys can't see is Brett with the barbecuing Beedrills. For those of you who are watching that were here last season, we saw a funny, very shitty, but that's why it was so good, hand-drawn version of Joltik from Brett. That was his team logo because he was the Jolly Joltix. The quality of the image has improved tenfold, and I say this with the amount of all the respect in the world. It's still ugly as shit, but that's why it's awesome. Like, his logo is so good. It's so good. He's intentionally making them ugly, obviously, right? But it's so good. It's so funny. But yeah, it's the barbecuing Beedrills. It's just like Beedrills on a plane or like in a meadow or whatever, and they have a barbecue, and they're barbecuing Caterpies. You see one Beedrill eating a Caterpie and a hot dog. It's great. I love it. It's beautiful. So we got the barbecuing Beedrills from Brett, and his Terra captains are Heatran, which he brought, Ditto, which he brought, and Cacturne, which he didn't. Okay, so Heatran has Terra Steel, Terra Fairy, and Terra Grass. Into this matchup, Terra Grass does not look great when there's a Baxcalibur and a Moth over there. Also, Thundurus being able to stab, fire off some stab moves. Grass looks good into Golurk, looks good into Slowking. So I don't think Grass is the play here. We got Fairy and Steel. Fairy looks good just for all-around neutrality. But you are then at that point weak to Iron Moth, but you do have an immunity against the Baxcalibur, so that's cool too. Terra Steel doesn't look great here either. I think his Terra types for this matchup are going to be very, very dependent on who's in front of him, because like Terra Steel, you know, Moth deals with it, Golurk deals with it, and Golurk hits like a fucking train, man. He hits like a train. So, gonna have to play around. And obviously, I don't think you'd want a Terra Steel in front of a Golurk anyway. You're already 4 times weak. Maybe run half weak so you can like live a Calc or something like that. I don't know. It depends. I don't think Terra on Heatran in this particular matchup, like all around, nothing speaks out to me. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if Terra's the moves here for the Heatran. What was the other Terra captain? It was Ditto. Ditto Terra could be interesting. He's running Terra Normal, obviously. He has to. Terra Steel and Terra Water. Both really good, just defensive, overall defensive Terras. So, like, it does depend on who he transforms into. Could dictate if he wants to Terra or not. And I really don't feel like going over the semantics of if he transforms into this, what Terra? If he transforms into this, what Terra? I'm not going to do that. So I think it's probably reliable that the Ditto wants to Terra in this particular matchup, but we'll see. And then we have Orhan in the Eindhoven Jaegers, one of the homies that didn't change his team names, thank God. And we see another Terra Thundy, Terra Electric again. Why not go Terra Flying? Like, obviously you don't have Volt Absorb, so I get it. I get it in that aspect, but keep an immunity, guys. You're Terra Electric, and then you Terra... Or yeah, if you Terra Electric, you lose your ground immunity, and that's your only weakness, so like, but whatever. Terra Ice. Is that Ice? That is Ice. I gotta zoom in on this bitch. Yeah, Terra Ice and Terra Fairy. So Terra Electric, when there's a Great Tusk on the team, you probably don't want to do that. you want to keep neutral grass moves or resisted grass, double resisted grass moves from the Ogerpon, which could be really beneficial there. So you don't want to Terra Electric there. Terra Ice, again, Great Tusk and Heatran on the enemy team. Not really ideal, but it does let you deal with an Amorous, which is cool. And then Terra Fairy. Terra Fairy is probably the one that you want to click in this particular instance. Just overall, the only real problem at that point in time comes from the Heatran. So I think Terra Fairy is likely what we'll see from the Thundurus. Did he bring any of his other ones? No, he did not. So yeah, I think Terra Fairy Thundurus looks good here, and then probably whatever defensive Terra the Ditto has is probably what he's going to want to click there. So let's get into it. Klefki lead. Immediately transfers into Klefki. Switches out. Doesn't go for spikes or screens or anything. So we do see screens. Mystical Fire gets a crit through the screen. Ooh, God. That's a low Thundy. Out comes Mothra. Tanks that Moonblast. Yeah, switches out. Does he go for a poison move? No, goes for U-turn. Breaks the balloon. So now Golurk is, yep, switches out. Ah, nice. Good there. It didn't work out in his favor. Oops. Didn't really work out in his favor because he went to the Rotom. Just a lot of pivoting and forcing positioning here from both teams. Nasty Plot, Terra Ice, Terra Blast, super effective, gets the KO. Okay, maybe I lied. Terra Ice was good into that too. I lied. I forgot it was super effective. I don't know why I thought fighting resisted ice. I'm retarded. Goes for a raw Terra Blast. Still deals a lot of damage. What that... does that tell me what I think it tells me? I think what that tells me is that this Thundurus is not packing an electric move. Because why wouldn't you click the electric move into the neutral when you... Okay, sure. Yeah, Terra Blast. Raw Terra Blast is interesting. Goes for it again. Is this thing choiced? This thing's gotta be choiced. I'm not paying attention to speed tiers, but some of that damage makes me think it might be Scarf, but it's probably Specs. Or other way around. Just more positioning from these two. Gets the paralysis. Volt Switch through the light screen doesn't do a lot. Ooh. Not a great position for Bax. He does switch, though. Goes for Dragon Dance. Okay. I guess Bax can learn Earthquake. Never mind. Glaive Rush does a lot of damage, but now he takes... Ooh! Misses that Glaive Rush window. Gets parried. Rough. Goes for Pain Split. Very nice. Heals a good chunk of damage there. Or a good chunk of HP there. Another hard para. Hydro Pump resists. Obviously. Still does a good chunk of damage. Poor Orhan's getting RNG'd over here. Down goes Bax. Energy Ball picks up a KO. Probably just wanted to sack that there to bring in fresh Heatran. Goes for another U-turn. Stealth Rock, okay. Another para, bro. I'm so sorry, Orhan. Misses the bro, this poor guy is just getting so unlucky. That's Specs damage, for sure, Specs damage. Confusion. Yeah, that thing's Specs as fuck. I wonder why he just keeps spamming Dynamic Punch. Ooh, no, not the Thundy! We see Boots on that. Eats a Sludge Wave. Hasn't even tried to fire off a water type, or I'm sorry, a fire type move into this just for the sake of doesn't want to risk the flash fire, which like I totally get. Just having flash fire in general is huge. It's a huge deterrent, even if you are Flame Body, right? At this point, I would just check and see if it has Flame Body or it has flash fire. But unfortunate match for Orhan. Bro got hacked to shit. Yeah, that was awful. So that is gonna do it for our week 1 plays. The only other fight for the week was supposed to be me versus Blizzard, but we just could not make the timing work out. Blizz was stupid busy. I am stupid busy. He was like, we already had to push back the week or our matchup a week, and then finding a window of opportunity for both of us was nigh impossible. But we tried and it didn't work out. But Blizz ended up taking the forfeit loss on there. So unfortunate for me. Like, yeah, cool, I still got a win, but I did like my matchup. It was terrifying. Blizzard's team was god awful to prep for, just because he has Iron Valiant and Roaring Moon and Reggie Alecki. Like, bro has fucking threats. His entire team is a threat. So the matchup was scary, but I thought I had a decent matchup into it. But it's unfortunate just because I don't get any of my kills for the MVP race, which is going to put me behind a week in that regard. But oh well. It is what it is. So speaking of that, let's look at the match, or the MVP race. I probably have to adjust my window. Yeah, let me do that. Let me do that really quick. Okay. Yeah, I'll just do that. Good enough. Because I want to go... Well, let me check this other window. Let's look at standings. Does that still pop up fine? Looks like it should. Yeah, okay. So those are week 1 standings. SnB up top with a 4. Me in second with a +3. Everyone else at a +3 except for Abyss and Wolfie at a... I'm sorry, Wah. I'm not calling you Abyss. You are Wah. Wah at a +2. Then everyone else obviously mirroring that. But yeah. So this is interesting. Who did Alberto fight? Why is he at a -1? He should be at a -2. Yeah, Alberto should be at a negative. Oh, what? Okay, something might be fucking on the sheet. I'll have to go fuck with that. He should not be at a +1 differential, though. That's interesting. Or that's not what I wanted. Sorry, technical difficulties that I have to figure out. What? 2-0. He should be at a -2. That's interesting. I don't know why it shows him with a +1 differential. I'll have to go figure that out, or I'll have to get Charcoal to help me figure that out. That's interesting. Okay, anyway, back to MVP race. Up top, we have a fucking Rabombi with 4-0. I'm just going to go over the top 10, even though it's... Well, okay, I'm not going over the top 10 because there's technically a bunch of ties, so we're just going to go over the actual... Because, like, technically the top 10 is going to end... Like, all of these mons are top 10, effectively. Does that make sense? Because, like, obviously Rabombi is in first place. We have a 3-way tie for second place. I'm sorry, a 4-way tie for second place. 1 in third place. A bunch of ties for fourth place. So, like, yeah, there's no... I'm not going over tiebreakers. But Rabombi at number 1. Cinderace at number 2, 3-0. Darkrai 3-0. Galarian Slowking 3-0. Heatran, Urshifu, Dragapult, Galarian Slowbro, Iron Moth, and Masquerain. The only mons that, like, really should be up here, like, from a face value standpoint, are Cinderace and Darkrai and Urshifu, Heatran, sure, Dragapult, and Moth. But Masquerain, Galarian Slowbro, Rabombi, like, interesting. Very interesting MVP race right now. And then... Yeah, I already went over standings, went over MVP race. Up next is the Elysium and Hoplite. Or, I'm sorry, Elysium and Fields of Punishment. We're going to be doing things a little differently. For those of you that tuned into the Phalanx Week 1 match, we're going to go over who we think might have a chance at getting Elysium or Fields of Punishment. But we're not going to say who it is. We want to start doing YouTube shorts just to help the channel out. just because you kind of need shorts for helping the channel grow. And also, I think it's a fun way to just implement the shorts, just to do short form content. So we have something for short form content, doing FOP and Elysium. For those of you who are new to the league, which is not a lot of you, but for those of you who are new, in both Phalanx and Hoplite, we do something called Elysium and Fields of Punishment. We have a Greek theme going in the server, so it's just more on-theme bullshit. Elysium we give to the play of the week, if someone deserved said play of the week, and we give Fields of Punishment to the bad play of the week or bad game. It's either play or match. It really depends, right? There's a mixed bag of criteria for the two of them. But Elysium is the good, FOP, Fields of Punishment, is the bad. Neither of them are you're guaranteed to get. So yeah, looking at the matchups, this was a pretty standard game from Alberto and Wah. The Rabombi sweep was interesting. I don't like giving Elysium to immediate sweeps just because it's not guaranteed. Like, the way I feel about sweeps is it was either just luck or bad positioning, bad matchup, most of the time. So I take sweeps with a grain of salt when I'm considering FOP/Elysium. You're more likely to get FOP for a sweep than you are to get Elysium, if that makes sense. Good game from SnB here. He was in control a lot of the game. His prep was solid. P4 versus Tim. Also kind of the same situation, just good positioning from Tim here. Dealing with threats as he needed to deal with them. P4 didn't really play horrible either. He didn't play great, but he didn't play great, actually. We might get, maybe. Chuckles, this was a really good match. Like, it wasn't crazy, oh my god, phenomenal plays from both players, but like, just all around, I think this was a very standard, very good match. Same with the Orhan versus Brett. I think this was just a good match, and then it kind of just ended up going downhill for Orhan, but he played good. I just think the matchup from Brett was a little better, you know. So I think my nominees for Fields of Punishment this week are, and again, just because you're nominated doesn't mean you're going to get it. Me and the mods are gonna have like a little chit chat and see who we think, based off of the matches. I think my nominees this week are probably P4 and Boasy. Boasy mostly due to the fact that as soon as the Slow King switched out on the arena trap, he kind of just gave up. And then after Thunderous went down, or I'm sorry, after Landorus went down, he didn't really have any other answers to Slow King, and I think that he really let that get to his head. There was a point in time where he was even like, just click this, I won't switch, just get it over with. So like, bro kind of just gave up, which, and I understand that to a degree. Like, there's certain times where like there's literally nothing I can do, but the reason why I say specifically in draft that I don't think you should ever just give up right away is you still have to try. Like, maybe you're not going to win. The loss is inevitable, but differential matters. Like, obviously, losing a game impacts your record more than differential, but still, when it comes to the late game, if you are 4-4 and I am 4-4, differential matters. We've seen people go 4-4 and still make it to the playoffs, right? Like, if you go 5-3, it's pretty much guaranteed. But at that same breath, you want to try to fight for differential. That way, as we get closer to the end of the season, you have more of a fighting chance for playoffs. So I don't think giving up is ever the option. And I think P4 kind of did the same thing here. He got really fucked off by, I want to say it was Urshifu. Urshifu only had 3 moves. I want to say it was Urshifu. It was turn 6. see. Does he switch into Big Ursh here? He does. So Urshifu only has 3 moves, and I want to say that was probably something he realized on turn 2 or turn 5 when Urshifu was also out. So Urshifu only having 3 moves, I think he let that get the better of him, and he kind of just fucked off about that. Like there's a certain point in the match later where he says, I think I was still fucked off by the 3 moves thing. So he also kind of just gave up, but also in the same breath, prep, not looking over your entire team before the match. I cannot stress this enough. As someone who has made a blunder like this before, I ran Vital Spirit on a Resto Chesto Annihilate set, and it was a match that I totally would have won. Like, I totally would have won that match had I been able to proc my rest. So it's shit like that I really think double check. Like, say, cool, hey, let's fight right now. But everybody should just take an extra 20 seconds to look over your team, make sure there's 4 moves, make sure there's items. Just make sure you're set to go before the match. I think I can't stress that enough. I think that's crucial. So between both P4 and Boasy kind of just giving up and the prep from P4, he didn't give up as hard as Boasy, but he did have worse prep. But Boasy gave up really hard. So I think those are our 2 contenders for Fields of Punishment. We'll see. Again, nothing is set in stone. You guys will have to find out when the YouTube short gets made, and we'll go from there. As far as our Elysium, I wasn't really blown away by too many of these matches. Like, I think SnB is probably in the nomination for it. Again, just because, even if he is, like I said, I don't think anyone else really deserves it besides potentially SnB. But that'll be something that we have to sit there and analyze just as a whole before we make the short and see. But he was in control of the match. He won with a great differential. But at the same time, his opponent gave up, right? And I think that's a big thing, is like, yeah, cool, he won the match, but his opponent gave up. So we'll have to see how that pans out. So for right now, SnB is in the nomination for Elysium, and Boasy and P4 are in the nomination for Fields of Punishment. So stay tuned. We'll get those YouTube shorts out as soon as we can. This week is a lot of catch up. Like, obviously it's week 3. It's the end of week 3, and I'm just now doing the week 1 stream. So we are a little busy. Me and Blizzard are. So just keep your eyes peeled. We'll get them when we get them. We're not going to try to postpone them too much as we can help it, but we'll see. So with that being said, thank you everyone who came out and watched. I know the stream time was a little abnormal. We didn't really have the crowd that we normally do for these streams, but also this is not the proper day that we do streams. Normally streams are done on a Monday. Today is Saturday, but it's just me playing catch up, so I didn't really expect a huge turnout, which is okay. It's not why I'm doing this. You guys can watch the VOD later when it gets uploaded. But that being said, stay tuned. It's going to be a stream heavy weekend. After this stream, like almost immediately after this stream, we have the Phalanx stream. So keep your eyes peeled, and thank you again to everyone for participating in the Olympian Draft League, and I can't wait to see what the rest of the season looks like. That's going to be it from me, and yeah, deuces.